Very strong stuff, as you very well know. I'm expecting him to give a good account of himself tonight, Pugach. Experienced campaigner against Travis Waters gave, as you mentioned there, a very good account of himself.
Боксер из Челябинска. Приветствуйте, Akhmadshokh Makhmadshoev.
So he's under some pressure here, Akhmadshokh Makhmadshoev, because this is his hometown. He's from Chelyabinsk, and it's great to box in front of your home supporters, of course it is, but he'll have sold some tickets for this, and people will be coming here in expectation. He's 23 years old, so towards the start of that journey, he drew his professional debut actually, then has won his last three. The gold medalist as an amateur European under-22s, which is a good competition. A lot of really good fighters have come through there. That was a couple of years ago.
Господа, представляю вам соперников. В черном углу ринга мастер спорта России по боксу из Москвы. Его рост 177 сантиметров, вес 67,5 килограммов. Он чемпион Лиги бокса Москвы и чемпион Московской области по боксу. Ему 34 года. В его активе 14 профессиональных поединков. В поисках новых побед он прибыл на ринг в Челябинск. Artem Pugach! Мастер спорта России по боксу в золотом углу ринга. Ему 23 года. Его рост 178 сантиметров, вес 67 килограммов ровно. Он чемпион Челябинской области, финалист чемпионата России среди студентов, бронзовый призер чемпионата России и, наконец, чемпион Европы по боксу 23-го года. В профессионалах провел 4 боя, одержал 3 победы, одну из которых досрочно и завершил 1 поединок в ничью. Он представляет Южноуральскую школу бокса, Урал бокс промоушен и город Челябинск. Akhmadshokh Makhmadshoev.
So again, this one scheduled for 6. The referee just
Рефери этого поединка Сергей Журкин.
Head up, no low blow, no holding. Listen and follow my command. Good luck.
And good to see Sergey Grom on the mic as MC, somebody I know quite well. Remember spending a couple of weeks with him at the World Amateur Championships in Belgrade back in 2021. Sterling job for that fortnight, and again tonight. So, boxing out of the gold corner, we have Akhmadshokh Makhmadshoev, the Chelyabinsk fighter. Orthodox stance he's operating out of. The southpaw there, that is Artem Pugach, who, as we said, has come into this at relatively short notice, but one of these guys who is always in shape, always ready to answer the call. Makhmadshoev, again, quite a tall, lean, angular kind of fighter with some long arms on him. It's something you see often with boxers. It's one of the things that makes them suited to the sport, those long levers.
You can already see here Artem Pugach very much knows how to look after himself. His 5th unbeaten opponent on the spin as he just targets the body there with the southpaw left hand. Looks very full at the weight as well.
He does. Physically, he looks bigger than his opponent, actually.
Good lead up jab there from Pugach. Just rocked the head back of Makhmadshoev.
Gets him nice and low as well, doesn't he? Makes himself quite a difficult target to find. An example there, just stooping and looking for the left hand into the body. Just working that lead left hand, isn't he, Makhmadshoev? Trying to measure the distance, I think, for the right. Comes in behind the right hand there. He's not really snapping it, that left hand, and looking to try and throw the jab. Just hooking up from the waist there. And then a left hand got through there from Pugach. He fancies this, doesn't he? I think that's quite clear. I think this could be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned earlier about Pugach staying low. Makhmadshoev, as we do see from well-established Eastern European fighters, you know, he's a little bit upright as well. And Pugach making himself a smaller target on the way and looking to wing some of those shots over the top as he lands a left hand there and goes again.
And into the body. He went up to the head and then down to the body, and he's having a good finish to the round here, Pugach. He's been nice and busy. Makhmadshoev has shaped a lot, but hasn't really thrown all that much. And I'd say that this opening round is Pugach's, and that'll put a little bit of wind in his sails. Good stiff, straight right hand there from Makhmadshoev, and the final exchanges of that opening round gives me some optimism for the next 5 rounds. I think this could be a really interesting watch, because Pugach, you would say, has won that opening round because he was the busier of the two. And Makhmadshoev, who, as I mentioned, drew on professional debut, he's in a fight here, and he will definitely know that now.
Yeah, I think Pugach probably looks like he's the one with the sauce on his shots as well. Makhmadshoev just touching a little bit with the lead hand, as our old mate Barry Jones would say. Hasn't stepped in behind any of the shots yet. It's just looking to prize open, as we just see some of those left hands landing there from Pugach. But just looking to prize open Pugach's ability to come back with his own counters, but didn't really manage to do that in the first round. And Pugach, as you mentioned now, just outworked him, landed a couple of good body shots, one there with the left hand to the midsection and a right hand upstairs as well. Just like to see a little bit more pace in Makhmadshoev's work.
He was a little bit too measured in that opening round, wasn't he? And sometimes when you find yourself in with somebody with the record that Pugach has got, it can always be slightly dangerous, because you might feel like you'll be the one who is going to be dictating terms, that they will know their place, if you like, and that's not the case here.
Good little short lead left uppercut on the inside from Makhmadshoev about 15-20 seconds ago.
And he's already started this second round with a bit more vitality, hasn't he? More of a spring in his step. He already looks sharper.
Yeah, you don't want to give a fighter like Pugach, who's come into this on late notice, you don't want to give him any more confidence than he needs. Sort of allowed Pugach into the fight in that first round.
That's exactly it. That's exactly right. And the job really here, when you're on the left-hand side and you're expected to win and he's boxing in front of a home crowd, is you've got to keep your opponent under control. As you say, don't give them too much cause to be too ambitious. He's got that right hand cocked and ready to go at all times there, Makhmadshoev. You see it there, just tucked in by the chin. And that left, as we were saying in the first round, really there is just being used to try and measure the distance for the right. But side on there, we can see that he's well short. He hasn't quite got his range, has he?
No, he hasn't. He stepped in with a jab about 15 seconds ago and knocked the head of Pugach back, and then went back to the touching and the kind of flailing of the lead hand around. I'd just like to see him try and stamp his authority on this fight. You know, he is, as you mentioned there, on the left side of the card. Good short right hand there. Best shot of the fight so far from Makhmadshoev.
And thrown as Pugach was coming forward. It's Pugach who is more willing to commit of these two. Makhmadshoev has done his best work when Pugach has been coming onto him, essentially. Looks for that whipping left hand to the body there. Pugach missed, but rolled off to his right. Again, he got nice and low.
And again, just Makhmadshoev just a little bit too upright in the exchanges, standing within punching range. Just had to take a little clip left hand over the top there.
Looking to try and time that right hand counter there into the final 30 seconds of round 2. There's that straight left hand. He throws that well, because he really dips those knees and kind of shovels it up over the top, and his head's almost on your hip by the time he's finished throwing it. So it's a shot to nothing, really. It's very difficult to counter that.
He's able to push Makhmadshoev back a little bit here, Pugach, as well. You can see the physical strength does lie with him. I mentioned that he looked to be the more fuller man at the weight. Just 1 or 2 instances in that second round of him being able to bully Makhmadshoev back to the ropes. Makhmadshoev really needs to get in gear here.
He just made Pugach fall short with that left towards the end of the round there. He took his feet out, and all of a sudden he was kind of stuck in no man's land right at the end of the round. Couldn't quite capitalise. He's awkward though, isn't he, Pugach? You look at him and he's got that kind of rugged physique. He does get really low, and he throws in singles, and then it's kind of right on you. It makes it difficult to... Might take a couple of rounds to figure him out.
Yeah, and he clearly, as we mentioned there, knows very much how to look after himself against unbeaten, capable fighters. He's shown time and time again in the past that he'll fight anybody, regardless of record, and he's not intimidated here, and Makhmadshoev hasn't really given him any reason to be intimidated.
He's got the kind of facial hair there, Artem Pugach, of a sort of 19th century blacksmith, which is not a bad look for a boxer, let's be honest.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be some, and there already has been, some fantastic beards on today's broadcast, and you could shout.
Again, just backing with that left hand, and there's the difference, because tentative with the jab, Makhmadshoev, and then Pugach coming in from distance, committed to his. And he's trying to keep the tempo high here, Pugach. He's really stepping on Makhmadshoev.
Again, it's that physical strength. I think he feels that he's able to bully Makhmadshoev back, and Makhmadshoev not really deterring him in any way.
Nice short, straight right hand there from Akhmadshokh, but he's got to show us a bit more here.
Just come close a couple of times with that right uppercut on the inside. Pugach does like to get low, but does lunge in at times and can get low over that front foot. Uppercut is there for Makhmadshoev.
And he caught him there as he forced him to fall in slightly. There's a decent right hand from Akhmadshokh. Every now and again he takes those feet out as Pugach is on his way in, and that's what he needs to do, just back up slightly. And he's got that read on him slightly earlier in round 3 than he has done in the previous 2, I would say, but he needs to try and make it count. Pugach came out quick, but it's just slowing here.
I think he's been caught a couple of times on the way in. Just slowed him down a little bit, though. Did land another nice left hand there. Bounces off the chin of Makhmadshoev.
He needs to finish this round strong, I think, Makhmadshoev, because I would say he probably lost the first 2.
It's just starting to pick up a little bit here. I think Makhmadshoev's legs have slowed down a little bit, which is good news for us, because I think we're going to see a lot more exchanges. Good right hand. Solid right hand, really stepped in behind that.
Good right hand to the body as well, and this is better from Akhmadshokh.
It's the first time he's gone down to the body. He goes down there again. As we said in the last fight, you know, against the southpaw, if you can't find a home for that right hand, target the body. And he's sunk a few nice shots into the midsection in this 3rd round.
And Pugach is walking onto a decent stiff jab there from Akhmadshokh, who's finished the round strong here. Pugach is still looking to come forward, but we're at the halfway point here, and Akhmadshokh has built himself a little bit of momentum here. He's won this round, and he's landing some good, clean shots now.
It just came together there, just as the bell went. Won the round there for me. Makhmadshoev was forced to work hard for it, though. It'll be interesting to see how these next 3 rounds play out, but I think a better round for him, albeit having to work a little bit harder than he did in rounds 1 and 2.
This is his first 6-rounder as well, which is always something just to throw into the mix here for Akhmadshokh. Because it's been fought at a pretty lively pace this so far. But good signs for him in that round we just watched there, because he managed to find a few gaps and stay a little bit more composed in the face of Pugach's marauding attacks. And you feel like Pugach is just going to keep doing it the same way. I don't think he's going to change things up here particularly, but it's quite a tiring way to fight.
I'd like to see Pugach almost go back to what he was doing a little bit more in rounds 1 and 2, making himself smaller, making himself a little bit more of an elusive target. Appreciate coming forward, he wants to put it on Makhmadshoev, but put himself in the line of fire in that third round.
That's what I mean, though, really, about his method being quite a tiring way to fight. It's not necessarily just the coming forward and the throwing punches, but really sitting in your legs and squatting almost the way that he does. That's a hard thing to do for too long. Right hand wasn't absolutely clean there from Akhmadshokh, but you can just see that Pugach is slightly hesitant now in a way that he hasn't been up until this point in the fight. He's happy to keep the distance here, and that means really that Makhmadshoev, I think, has got to take the initiative here, hasn't he, and try and close that gap.
I mean, he's really neglected the jab. We've been saying this since the first round. You know, he's using that jab to measure and to touch and try and set up the right hand. But when he has stepped in behind it, it has had success. And particularly now with Pugach, seemingly, I don't want to say less ambitious, because he very much is ambitious, but potentially slowing down a little bit. You'd feel that Makhmadshoev, if he can get in behind that jab, could really start to take control of this fight.
Agreed. I think you're absolutely right. I think he's probably won those first 2 rounds, Pugach. I think Makhmadshoev won that 3rd round, and he's landing the cleaner punches in this 4th round as well. And having just said that, Pugach is now just trying to up the work rate a bit, isn't he? He went into his shell slightly, and I think he knew it, and he knows, experienced guy that he is. If he can find a way to nick this 4th, because there's not loads in it, then that might give him a bit of a lead heading into the final 2. Right hand into the body there from Makhmadshoev was pretty solid.
No, just said Pugach again, overextending on the front foot, just leaving himself in the firing line. Makhmadshoev took advantage of it, but didn't land completely flush. Hasn't really nailed Pugach yet, although I do feel that Pugach potentially in these last couple of rounds, as he lands a good left hand on the front foot, just starting to feel some of these coming back.
So 2 to go, they're scheduled for 6. It's been a decent fight, this. Again, it's a good match for the undercard. You've very much got a home fighter against an away guy here, but the away fighter in Pugach has shown some ambition right from the start. He's fancied this. What do you think? 2 apiece, 3, 4?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think the last couple of rounds, so in rounds 3 and 4, Makhmadshoev just starting to have a little bit more of those eye-catching moments, whereas Pugach was able to roll and ride the shots, make himself smaller in rounds 1 and 2. Just a little bit more upright in 3 and 4. Makhmadshoev able to get off, particularly with a right hand to the body. Hasn't really been able to land it flush upstairs yet, but a couple of right hands to the body, and that right uppercut has also come close on a couple of occasions. But all to play for here with 2 rounds to go.
Раунд.
Head up, okay? Head up. Box.
Good jab there to kick things off in round 5 from Pugach. And then almost got caught with a solid right as he was on his way in, trying to wing one in over the top with his left hand.
It's just here where you feel that Makhmadshoev really should be using that jab.
Did well there to make Pugach fall short with the left hand, and then came back with a kind of stabbing right. But sometimes fighters, they frustrate you, don't they? Because they just don't do something really obvious, and once you watch them for long enough, even just a few rounds, you realise that it's just not something he's going to do, is it? Makhmadshoev is use that lead left hand for anything other really than as a measuring stick for the right. It's kind of hard to figure it out, but I think we've seen enough to know.
Yeah, and he is having success with just touching and dropping back, as you say, and then trying to find a home for the right hand. But in some of the quieter moments, you do wonder if he could start taking control of those moments with that jab.
That's a good straight right hand from him.
Good left uppercut as well through the guard.
Another solid right from Akhmadshokh as Pugach is coming forward. Neither one of these two has looked at any stage like they hurt the other, and Pugach keeps coming forward as that right hand has bounced off his head a few times, and again he gets caught by an uppercut there, and these are good punches. It's good work here from Makhmadshoev. Right to the body was a good punch there too. You could just see it rip across the torso.
But Pugach still marching forward, making him work for it. You can see why he gets so much work in the away corner, Andy.
Yeah, you absolutely can, and I think what he's thinking here is that, okay, he probably knows that the better quality of punching is coming from the opponent, but he also knows this is his first six-rounder, and that if he's going to win this or get a draw here, Pugach, he's just got to try and break him towards the end with some volume, really ask some questions.
He's just had some success there with Makhmadshoev backed up against the ropes again, trying to use that physicality. You can see him in the clinch. He does look to be the bigger man. He's able to push Makhmadshoev back, but not able to do it often enough in these last couple of rounds, Pugach.
Let go with the left hand again there, that kind of overhand left. It's like he's looking to try and fling a javelin into the back of the arena, but he didn't quite manage to land it. Final few seconds of round 5, so 1 to go here, and it's been an entertaining watch this from the start, and it's just interesting to see how fighters navigate their way through, because I think maybe in round 4 at times he looked to take a bit of a round off, the first half of the round off, and then in the second half really brought it, and he kind of did the same thing again there. But you could absolutely see him in that final minute. He upped it. Again, you just feel like the cleaner punching, the quality punching has come from Makhmadshoev in round 5. The judges do like a guy on the front foot a lot of the time, we know that.
They absolutely do. And it's certainly been a close enough fight where those type of factors can come into play. I do have Makhmadshoev just edging ahead with a cleaner work over the last couple of rounds, but it's been a good workout for him. Certainly valuable rounds so far for him at this stage of his career.
Exactly that, and I think when he watches this back, he will realise that he got off to a little bit of a slow start. And that can happen sometimes early in a career when you're very much the home fighter.
Also a good sign for Makhmadshoev. The first time he's gone 6 rounds, and as the fight has progressed, he's grown into it, and he has won those rounds more convincingly as the fight's gone on, which is a good sign for him. Again, just looking to time Pugach with that right hand on the way in. Good short little left hand counter there from Makhmadshoev.
And he's doing the kind of same thing here, Pugach. He's having a little bit of a look more in the first half of the round. I think in the second half, we'll see him empty the tank a bit here. That's a decent combination from him. And almost right on cue, that internal clock, I think, has sounded an alarm bell with him, and he knows that he needs to go after it again in the second half of the round here.
Needs a big finish here, Pugach, and it looks like he's planning on one. Good from Makhmadshoev. Not standing and getting involved in a scrap. Still looking to hold his distance.
And just gesturing to the crowd to get involved here as well. It is his home support, and carrying those hands quite low, but just flinging them up from the waist and catching his man on the way in. And that was a really good right uppercut. Very, very well timed as he came forward there, Pugach, as we thought he would, is just marauding away in the final stages here, trying to get something really done. But again, as we've seen in the previous 2 rounds, the clean punching, the quality punching has come from Makhmadshoev, and neither one of them has buckled at any stage. Nobody's been hurt here at any point, but the scoring shots, if you're going to look at it like that, which is absolutely how you have to, after those first couple of rounds, they've come from the man in white. But it's been a really good competitive fight as we enter the final 10 seconds. Pugach has brought an awful lot to it. If Makhmadshoev does go on and get the decision here, I think he feels like he's going to. I think he feels like he's done enough, and that's a very worthwhile outing for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that was good stuff from Makhmadshoev as well in the last 30 seconds of that fight. Pugach was pouring it on in that last minute or so, as you correctly mentioned. He was doing that for a couple of rounds beforehand, and Makhmadshoev stayed nice and calm in the eye of the storm, made him miss, sat back on the ropes for those last 15-20 seconds and found some nice counter shots. Very, very worthwhile workout for Makhmadshoev. Expect to see Pugach back over in the UK at some time very soon.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised at all. We've seen quite a bit recently.
Had a win last November against Max Curtis in Oldham over 6 rounds, so capable fighter. If you're not up to it, Pugach is exactly the type of fighter who will bring that out of you. But for me, Makhmadshoev, the home fighter, does enough over 6 here.
So we're just awaiting the decision here. We feel like we know which way it's going to go. Probably 4-2 in favour of Makhmadshoev. He certainly seems to think so. Top of the bill, of course, tonight, Sergey Kovalev up against Artem Pugach, who's another fighter I've seen quite a lot of, mostly towards the start of his career on Sauerland bills over in Germany, and I make it a pretty good match because he's an experienced guy, Artem. He won't be intimidated by this. I'm absolutely sure about that. And Kovalev, as great as he's been when we saw him in Saudi Arabia last year against a fresher, younger opponent, it just isn't there anymore. The magic isn't there anymore, and it leaves everybody at some point. But the idea is that he's going to get the win here. This will turn into a bit of a damp squib, quite honestly, if that doesn't happen. But with that in mind, they've chosen a capable opponent for him. He's going to have to earn it.
Absolutely, Andy. I mean, we know Artem is an experienced guy. I mean, you look at the fights that he's lost to: Kevin Lorena, Myris Bradis, Yevgeny Tishenko, Muslim Magomedov. These are good fighters, and Sergey Kovalev at this stage of his career, is he still a good fighter? We'll find out shortly.
So he gets it, Makhmadshoev, by unanimous decision. The first couple of rounds could well have gone in the direction of Pugach. From that point onwards, I think he got more of a read on him, he got more into the fight. And for a first 6 rounder, it was boxed at a good pace and good experience for him as he looks to move onwards and upwards. I think we're going to hear from him maybe because he is a home fighter. Well, he's going to insist on it.
Всем спасибо большое за поддержку. В этом году мы отмечаем 80-летие Победы. Мы все один народ, и мы народ непобедимый. Всем большое спасибо за помощь и поддержку тренеру Фаригат Касыму, Алексей Леонидович, Сергей Евгеньевич. Все, что вы для меня делаете, тысячекратно вам вернется. Спасибо всем большое. Урал Бокс Промоушен. Сила.
had some success with that left hand. Into the crouch and then would throw it over the top then. As the fight progressed, he was never really at any point upright, Pugach. He's not that kind of a guy, but he got gradually just slightly more upright because in the early stages when you got loads in your legs, getting low in the way that he did is an easier thing to do. It does take it out of you though.
Just got a little bit more predictable as well as the rounds went on. Didn't really do an awful lot different. Akhmadshokh just found his timing as the bout progressed. And books, well, I think will be a very worthwhile win.
Винлайн делает разницу для всех своих новых клиентов и дарит бонус 3000 рублей всем новым пользователям. Без условий. Регистрируйтесь в приложении Винлайн и получите свой фрибет высшей пробы. Винлайн делает разницу. Время. Время для 7-го поединка нашего вечера. Весовая категория до 71 килограмма. Опытный российский боксер-профессионал против мастера спорта международного класса.